All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, with all praises, honor, glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, CAPTORS. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Greatmillstone, who taught me this truth, and a sincere shalom to the elect out there, teaching this truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, and as most of you know by now, or have seen this train wreck of a presidential debate, or you've at least seen highlights of it. I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched like the first 45 minutes of it, maybe. And my mind started to wander because it was boring. You know, you could only watch this man on the right fuck his speech up so many times before you're like, all right, enough of this nonsense. Okay? You could only listen to this guy that's all he did was take credit for it. Okay? And point out what an idiot this guy is, which everybody already knows. Anybody with any common sense knows that Mr. Biden here does not possess all of his mental faculties. And I'm going to be very careful with how I say that because they're flagging videos. Here it is, right? You got all these different millions of people that know somebody, okay, or had somebody in their families or work in a profession where they've dealt with people with either dementia or Alzheimer's, right? Or some kind of disease where the elderly, their mental faculties, their brain degrades, whatever. You can't say this about this guy. Here it is, right? Up until the morning of this debate, the media, okay, the goddess of illusion was telling us that this guy was sharp. Meanwhile, he's sharp, he's ready, he's focused. And this guy couldn't even put together a coherent sentence. He's staring into fucking space. Okay? He's talking about women are getting raped by their brothers and sisters and in-laws. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about, bro? Couldn't understand what he was talking about. He's talking about completely different things. Okay? Than what's being asked. He's talking about we beat Medicare and what the hell are you even talking about, bro? What are you even talking about? Okay? But that shows the state that America is in. It's like a drunkard staggering in its own vomit, man. Okay? And Mr. Trump said over here that he speaks to world leaders, and because of this guy, okay, and his leadership and his administration, he said that world leaders no longer respect America. Okay, some of them are even starting to hate America. Okay, they laugh at us. They think that we're stupid. Okay, but see, they're not stupid because it's done by design. Okay, because the elites, their goal is to bring about a new world order or a one world order. Okay, and in that one world order, they're going to have what's known as major powers or regional powers. There's going to be no more superpowers, man. There's going to be no more superpowers. Okay? But see, it's kind of tricky how they're coordinating everything because they still need America's military to be strong. Okay? They still need America to have some kind of strength to pull off their agendas. Okay? So their goal is to weaken America, okay, but keep it going to the point where it could assist them in their agenda. Okay? So they put this guy in here because America was getting too strong under this man's leadership. Okay, to level out the playing field, and this man, the Most High, is using him. When you think of Revelation 17 and 16 about how they shall hate the whore, this man comes to mind. as being the leader that's bringing this about. Okay? Because nobody really respects America anymore. You look at the emergence of BRICS, which I think the emergence of BRICS is fucking overblown, man. Because a lot of these pro-BRICS articles are being written by, pushed out there by professional scammers, by the way. Okay? But why is there so much focus on BRICS? Why are these nations looking for alternatives? Because they see that the domino is starting to teeter-totter. Okay? So they do it to cover their asses. Of course, they're going to keep doing business with the West. Okay? A lot of these nations. Okay? But they're diversifying to the point where they won't have to rely on the West. Okay? They won't have to rely on the West. Kind of like if you get two jobs, right? You got your one main job that's probably 40 hours a week, and then the other one you might, pick up 10 hours or 15 hours or whatever, to make a little extra side money. Okay? They're getting their secondary income. Okay? Their secondary group of trading partners, man. Because they see that America doesn't have that prowess anymore. Okay, it doesn't have that strength. Okay, when you used to think of America back in the day, you used to think of strength, man. Like when I was growing up, nobody wanted to mess with this country, man. Nobody wanted to fuck with Babylon, man, or Rome reincarnate. Okay, that meant that meant that hey, good luck if you want to mess with the USA, man. I'm talking back in the 80s and the 90s, man. You didn't dare piss America off during that time period. Okay? But now everybody's throwing stones. Okay, everybody's throwing stones at this place, man. Of course they still do business with it. Of course they get along to get along. Because hey, man, nobody wants direct war with the United States, even if this guy's in office. Okay, because the U.S. military is nothing to fucking play with, man. Okay? But at the same time, man, they're getting ready for when they may have to encounter this nation, man. That's why they're upgrading. A lot of these nations are upgrading their militaries, man. And this is the prophecy, Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare a war, wake up the mighty men. Okay, the spirit of war is in the air. You got Russia over there in Ukraine. Okay, you've got the situation with Hamas and Israel over there in the Middle East. Okay, and it happened under this man's watch, right? And everybody's they were asking the question about what he's going to do about it, and he ain't got no solutions, man. And Trump ain't got no fucking solutions either. All he said was, "I'll get these guys on to the table, and I'll get it solved." Well, just because you're getting some guys to the negotiating table, don't mean it's going to get solved. And knowing Trump, he may accidentally throw flames on the fire that can't be quenched, man. He might be throwing gas on the fire with that Russia and Ukraine situation. Okay? Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords. Okay? Now, in Isaiah, I believe it's the 2nd chapter, okay, it says the exact opposite. Okay? Because that's going to be the time of peace. But in order for us to turn our swords into our plowshares, the plowshares got to be turned into swords first, right? Which is what? World War III. And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what's been going on primarily since Mr. Biden's been in office the past few years. Okay? A lot of these nations, they sense weak leadership, and they know now is the time to strike. Now is the time to upgrade those plowshares, okay? And those pruning hooks. Okay, now is the time to get ready to battle the West, man. Because Babylon the Great, or America, under this man's leadership, has been pushing the alphabet agenda around the world. Okay? They've been sanctioning countries, okay, that don't follow this nonsense that they're pushing. I mean, this guy's for at term or at birth or after birth abortion, man. Okay? And Mr. Trump pointed that out for the whole world to see. Okay? Now, you pay attention to the ties, right? You got the red tie and you got the blue tie. But see, it goes a lot deeper than that, man. It goes so much deeper than that, man. Okay? It goes back to what? The York Rite of Freemasonry and the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. It goes back to the Knights of Malta and the Knights Templar, man. Okay? These families they've been cooperating and fighting each other. Okay? Think about friendly rivalries, man. You know? Because their goal is their goals are very similar, man. You know, with the one world order and the new world order. But it's just how to get there. Okay? Is the difference. How to get there is the difference. You know? Now, I want to go into something that really caught my eye and my ears during this debate. Okay? They asked Mr. Trump, okay, to clarify on his statements, man, that he said that when he's president, he would do I'm trying to think of the words, the largest deportation that the world has ever seen. Okay, talking about what? Deporting all these millions of so-called illegal immigrants here. Okay? Now, what is this man going to have to do in order to do that? He's going to have to declare martial law. Okay, he's going to have to declare martial law, man. There's no way you're going to be able to deport and round up millions of people unless you have a state martial law, man. So, going back to problem, reaction, solution, and the whole Medea, the goddess of illusion and all that. Okay? They've created the problem. They've created the problem. They've gauged the people's reaction. We have historically very pro-Democrat or this man leaning states, okay, where they put a lot of these migrants, okay, and now they're flipping red. They're flipping to this guy. I mean, did you see the fucking rally this man had in New York City? Okay? He's more popular with Jake than ever. This man could go down to Chicago. Okay? But that's what they need, okay? That's what they need. They need to paint the picture of the hero rising up against the establishment, which is why this man's been in court all these years. You know, they kept mentioning he's a convicted felon. They're making him out to be like the Robin Hood or the hero of the people, man. So that they can get him, so that they can play the story to get him back in. Because there's no fucking way that they're going to be able to spin the story good enough to get this guy back in office, man. They won't be able to rig or to cheat or to falsify the election results enough to make it believable that this guy fucking won, man. His biggest supporters are turning on him. Okay? I mean, what we saw with this debate, with this guy fumbling all over the place, not knowing what he's talking about, it's been going on since he got in fucking office. And everybody can see it. Everybody knows it. Okay? I mean, there's no way that they're going to be able to pit these two against each other and say that Biden won this time, man. Okay? But they don't need to, because it doesn't matter who's on the Democrat ticket. It's looking like Mr. Trump's going to win. Okay? So if the goal is martial law, this is the guy that they're going to get in there, man. This is the guy that we're going to get in. He has the public support to do it. You think about when Hitler got in power, man. It's very similar. The comparison is very similar, man. You know, you get a man that the people want so bad, you could turn him into a dictator and the people won't care. You can't turn this man into a dictator. He don't even know where he is. Okay? This man has overwhelming support. People in the military are praying for this fucking guy to get back in. This guy has overwhelming support from the military. Overwhelming support from the police. Okay? Police hate this guy. Because he's making it to where the police can't do their fucking job, which is angering people. Okay? That's angering people, man. The police want to be able to do their job. Okay? The police can't do nothing against any of these so-called undocumented people. They can't do nothing to enforce crime, man. Okay, Elon Musk fucking talked about San Francisco, how dangerous it's getting out there. You could rob people at gunpoint, and the police won't even arrest them. Okay, you can shoplift in California legally, and the police can't do shit against you, man. You can't even protect your homes anymore. Okay, you can't even protect your homes anymore, man. If an invader comes in your house to harm your family, and you take care of business, you're done. You're done. Okay? Which your duty as being the fucking man of the house is to protect your family from an invader, okay? So you gotta make the choice, do I want to go to jail for killing a damn invader and in my home, a thief? Okay, who's trying to potentially harm or kill my family? Well, is that worth going to jail? That's what decisions these people are making, man. Okay? And then you look at the pushing the alphabet agenda with the TS people. How they're brainwashing the children and all that. And then you look at, here's Mr. Trump saying he's going to abolish the Department of Education. He's going to get rid of it because all they're doing is providing federal funding to push wokeism and that bullshit, that TS bullshit on the children, man. They're using federal funding with the Department of Education to indoctrinate people, man. Okay? To support that weirdo agenda, man. So here's the hero that they're more than likely going to put in. Okay? Forget Kennedy. Okay? Because people with sense, anybody who listened to Kennedy, he had his own separate debate. Slacker brothers. So Kennedy, anybody who watched Kennedy's debate, because they kept him off, okay, that's the thing. The only anti-establishment, fully anti-establishment candidate was Kennedy, okay? His polling numbers allowed him to be at these debates, but they kept him off anyway. Okay, they don't want the public seeing what Kennedy has to say, okay? Because the shit Kennedy says makes sense, okay? Like why are 70% of so-called Americans living paycheck to paycheck and not able to afford basic necessities? Okay, but yet you got more billionaires than ever. And he said there's hundreds of chemicals and additives that they put in your food that are banned in other countries, man. But they're put in American food, man. Nowhere else in the world do they allow this shit but America, man. They're legally poisoning the people, the corporation, man. Okay? And you look at what Kennedy's uncle was assassinated for, man. He was trying to take out the bankers. Okay, he said that there's a plot to enslave every man, woman, and child in the nation, and he's going to do whatever he can to expose it. And it cost him his life. And he was probably the most popular and beloved president in history, Kennedy. I mean, fucking people were crying when this man got assassinated. They were crying because they loved him. Because they loved him, man. Because he pretty much was one of them. Okay, a so-called commoner. He could have been a Jake too. You know, he had that energy to him. But yeah, they ain't gonna get Kennedy in there. But anyways, back to martial law, which is primarily what this video is about. Who's gonna be able to pull that off? Okay, who's gonna be able to pull that off? Mr. Trump. Okay, it ain't gonna be Mr. Biden. If this man declares martial law, what do you think the police and military are going to say? They're going to say, all right, old man. They ain't going to listen. Okay? They'll listen to this man. They're waiting for this man to get back in so that they could do their job. Okay? So, let's get a couple scriptures here. Let's start at the first verse, actually, Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. And, brothers can look back at ancient Roman history, man, with all the infighting that went on, with all the different Caesars and the different factions and families. It's happening in America, man, and that's how Rome fell. The kingdom was divided against itself and couldn't stand, just like the scriptures said. Well, we're seeing that with America. Okay? Because honestly, if they really don't want this man in office, they'll create a false flag or do something or start a war. Or they'll just knock him off. They really don't want this man. Okay? But well, hey, it doesn't matter who gets in, man. There could be riots after they deal with the results. Because we know that this man's base will go out there and riot. And this man's base owns all the guns. So we'll have to wait and see, how it unfolds. This is Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? Which looks to me like a civil war. And we could see this going on right now. The Egyptians, they may not be physically fighting each other, but they're fighting each other. Okay, they're bickering back and forth all over social media. You know, they're interrupting each other's rallies. You know, you look at you look at how America was, you know, back when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s and that, and there's no sense of unity anymore. You know, you had people with differences of political opinions, so on and so forth back then. Okay, but it seems like Americans fucking hate each other now. You know, ever since Novid, okay, Americans have been conditioned to hate each other now, man. You know, and why wouldn't you? Well, hey, I mean, I fucking hate most of these damn Americans, man. They're disgusting people. Okay, they're disgusting people, man. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. The spirit of Egypt, that American pride, right? It's failed. Okay? There's less patriotism than ever. And I will destroy the counsel thereof. I mean, how is a nation supposed to move forward when damn near half the country hates the country that they live in? You know? And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the councils, and to the charmers, to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. Okay, so the Lord is going to hand them over to a fierce king, man. And that is looking like Mr. Trump, man. Okay? I mean, if you've been they've been keeping him off the media. If you've been following what he's been saying, man, when he gets into office, man, he's not playing the fuck around. Okay, he wants to bring back summary execution. Okay? He wants to round up millions of people and deport them. Okay? There's all kinds of shit this man. He's gonna have like 100 executive orders ready to go day one. He's not gonna waste no time. Okay? And I believe that even though they may not agree with everything he wants to do, I believe that the elites are gonna let this guy get back in, man. They're gonna let this guy get back in. Because whether they agree with some of his shit or not, or whether they can completely control him, is irrelevant. Okay? Because they know that this man gets shit done. This man don't get nothing done. If this man gets back in office, especially since he has the Supreme Court now, 6-3 in his favor, he has the Senate, all right, and he owns the House. The House. See, when he was president the first time, he had a divided House and a divided Senate, and he couldn't really get a lot of the things that he wanted done. Okay. But now he's going to have all three. He might have all three branches of the government to himself, man. He'll be able to do whatever the fuck he wants. And if he doesn't, he'll have the public support. This time, he didn't have it last time. But this time, he'll have the public support to issue whatever executive actions he wants. Okay? That's one of the keys to pulling off a dictatorship, man. You must get people to love and fear their leader. Okay? This is Daniel 8:23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when selected. Okay? Now, we know that this is talking about Alexander and his 4 generals. And then it goes on into Antiochus Epiphanes or Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay? We know that this goes into that, but that same spirit is coming back. Okay? Daniel 8:23, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty. Now, which candidate gives the power of might? Mr. Trump, right? He has a much more masculine energy than Mr. Biden, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Okay? Did he not refer to us as being prophets of doom? Okay? Now he has the support of Jake. Okay, but that could be a big bait and switch, man. That could be a big bait and switch, man. Okay? Because don't forget, when that hour of martial law comes, man, who do you think they're looking for? They ain't just looking for the so-called migrants. No, they're gonna be looking for us too, brothers. Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay? Because really, we're the most anti-establishment people that there are. Okay? This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. It made all the earth drunken by pushing its wicked philosophies and its witchcraft, man. Okay? The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. The nations have gone crazy, man. You go to the hospital. What's the symbol? It's going to be 99 times out of 100, if not 999 times out of 1,000 or more. The hospital is going to have the symbol of what? Either 2 or 1 snake wrapped around a serpent staff, man. That goes back to Babylonian witch doctors, man. And Greek witch doctors. Okay, the staff of Asclepius and the staff of I believe that I don't know if they call it the staff or the cane of Caduceus. Okay, and you look at that, and it's the same symbol throughout hospitals all around the world, not just here in Babylon, not just in westernized nations, but around the world. You look at police, okay? The idea of police, just the word police. Okay? Look the word of police, man. It'll shock you, okay? The police all around the world, they carry out the agenda of the elites. They protect the elites. Most police officers don't even know. Okay, they don't even know who they're fighting for. They think they're there to get rid of the bad guys and to help the community. You're there to protect the elites. Because whenever there's a riot or a protest, it's poor people trying to storm the elites. And who's there to stop them? The police. Okay? The idea of police all around the world, man. Okay? Feminism, man. Women's rights movements, the alphabet people. They've polluted the whole earth with these philosophies, man. And it's the McDonald's and the Walmarts and all that shit. They got fucking McDonald's in the Middle East now. Okay? That's nasty, rancid, spoiled wine, man. Polluted the whole earth. Okay? And the eyes of the Lord like it says in Amos, are upon the sinful kingdom. Because the Lord knows where it all came from, what nation pushed it. The mother of harlots and abominations, right? This is the place where abominations are born. Trendy. They become trendier, and then they go throughout the world. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. Okay? Now here's where the bait is. A lot of people think that if this man gets in office, that Babylon's going to be healed. And he gonna be healed. Okay? This man may, the Lord allow America to get a little better for a little time. Okay? But there's only so much one man can do, man. Okay? Because there's a so-called well, actually there is. It's not just so-called. There's a divine intervention going on, man. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Okay, so the judgment of America is written, okay, and it has to reach to heaven, which is symbolic of those mushroom clouds, man, that fire engulfing this place, man. So when everybody thinks that America is here, America's back, Jack, America's back, Jack, this guy gets in office, it'll crash even harder, man. Right? It'll crash even harder. What did he say during about the January 6th thing in the debate? You seen the highlight. He said there was on January 6th there was no illegal immigration. Gas was $1.95 a gallon. We didn't have any inflation. Right? And this man went into office and completely fucked all that up. Okay? And people think that this guy's going to restore it. He ain't going to restore it. He might make it a little better. Okay? But he ain't going to restore this place, man. It's over, man. You know? It's over. Okay? We're going towards the end of a business cycle, man. And one of these business cycles, there's going to be a black swan event, which this nation is going to fall apart from and destabilize. He knows it. He even said that there's going to be a huge market crash coming. That's going to destroy everything, man. Okay, so this nation is not going to be healed. Okay? So with that, keep watching, because who knows, man? Who knows? These devils, they might go scorched earth and do a false flag or start a war before the election. We don't know. You know? We can only spiritually speculate. Okay? But the tensions are in the air, man. Something major is going to happen. Whether it happens before November, whether it happens after November, whether it happens in 2025. Okay? You know? I mean, what if this guy does a mass deportation in the middle of winter and the migrants go and all these sleeper cells activate, which he say are in this nation, all the sleeper cells activate and they start destroying infrastructure in the middle of fucking winter. People start freezing and starving. You know, we don't know. And then there's the whole bird flu thing, you know, but the Most High, it's like the scriptures say, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and he's set out to destroy this place, man. There's so many obstacles that America has to face right now, okay, that eventually it's going to get brought down. It's too many problems to overcome. And it was put that way, it was made that way through the spirit of Yahawah, Yahawashi, okay? Okay? And a large part of that is America's own pride. Just like the scriptures say, that this is the careless city that rejoiced Okay, this is a city that rejoiced carelessly. Okay, and said the there's none else beside me. Okay, that American spirit has led to its own downfall, which is why the whole world is finally tired of your shit, man. All right, so with that, till next time, shalom.